protagonist that no one ever was. Okay, so they made a Pokemon movie, and they had Pikachu in it, and Ryan Reynolds is playing the voice, but he's a detective. It's gonna be called Detective Pikachu. It's gonna be the first live-action Pokemon movie, and that's just what we're going for. When I hear that idea, I was like, this could work, this could be genius. Another part of me is thinking, this could really blow up in your face, and maybe this isn't developed as well as you maybe think it is. You know, ever since Guardians of the Galaxy, we've been doing some really loopy ideas for different franchises and taking chances, a lot bigger chances than before. And I was like, maybe we're just going too far this time. Kind of. Detective Pikachu was released. It was the first big movie to come out ever since Endgame. I of course saw it. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I don't know too much about the franchise other than some of the characters, some of the video games. I have Pokemon Go on my phone. So there's that. I kind of know it to an extent, but I never did the card game, and I especially never saw any of the movies or the TV show. Just wasn't really an anime fan when I was younger. But I understand that this movie is going to have a huge, excited fan base. I mean, it's the first Pokemon movie that's going to be live action. And they cast Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. I don't really know why. It's one of those weird ideas that, hey, maybe it'll play, maybe it won't. For the most part, I think it does. What's really interesting is after the first trailer, I really did think, I'm only hearing Deadpool. That's all. That's it. I can tell it's Ryan Reynolds' voice. I'm not going to really be able to accept that this is its own character. But for the most part, you pretty much forget that after a couple of minutes. You accept that this character just is Pikachu. You don't really think too much about the voice, and you start following the story. The main character is your typical, he's going nowhere with life, doesn't really have much of a family, he has some disconnect there, and his father passes away, so he's got to go to the big city to go get it taken care of, which leads him down this road to running into Pikachu, and eventually they decide to discover the mystery as to what happened to his father. He may not actually be dead, as Pikachu is insinuating, which leads them to going down the streets and going to Pokemon battles, running into other characters, and eventually ending up at some crazy science lab with lots of different action sequences going on, and earthquakes, and giant Pokemon, and a big battle in the city, along with a parade of balloons, which is very similar to the end of the 1989 Batman. A lot of similarities to a lot of movies, actually, which is basically what this movie is. It's just a lot of different ideas that you've seen before mashed into one movie. And it's good. That's really all I can say about it. I gotta say, the trailer did make me more excited than what I ended up getting with this movie. But I wouldn't really call it disappointing. I think it just kind of went under the expectations that I had, which weren't too high to begin with. I just wanted to see a fun movie that did justice to the Pokemon characters, and I think they succeeded. The Pokemon characters fill up the world. You see a lot of them. There's a couple I wish I could have seen either at all or more of, but for the most part, they're filling up the screen. They are part of our universe. They walk around just like us. We catch them sometimes. They fill up the atmosphere. There's like Pidgeys flying around. There's just all kinds of different Pokemon filling up this universe, and they look spectacular. There's one thing that could really be taken away from this movie. It's the effects. They are unbelievable. Some of the best that I have seen in quite a while. Whoa. And it's a very energized movie. It keeps at a good pace. It keeps the story moving along, even when it starts getting a little weird. I've been saying a lot lately for quite a few movies that the third act especially saves it for me. It seems like that's been a huge case for a lot of blockbuster movies recently. And this is the first movie in quite a while where that's just not the case. I almost would think the third act is almost what kills it. It starts getting really weird. I never would say it goes as far as ruining the entire movie, and it doesn't take major missteps. It's not like it's completely out of tone with everything that was set before it, and it's not doing anything to our characters that make them unredeemable or anything. And it's not like it's boring. It's definitely not. It's just weird. Some of the writing choices and some of the different things they decide to do with the story, how they present ideas, how they're explaining ideas, some of the exposition dialogue, it gets weird, man. And then when you get to that twist ending, I guess, it's not a huge twist, but when you get there, you start to realize, oh, that makes sense. That's who that character was. But did they only do the third act and that huge plot device only so they could have a certain actor in the movie? To me, that's what it seemed like they did. It was like, we have this big name, we gotta have a reason for them to be in the movie, and they found a way, I guess. This was the way to do it, but, you know, for me, it's just, it got so weird, and I don't know if this is an idea that's been in Pokemon before, and it's not like it's implausible for this universe. I mean, yeah, if you were to watch this on the anime, I'd accept it. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. But for being the first blockbuster movie, especially for a movie that takes its structure way more from Roger Rabbit than any other Pokemon movie, it's weird that the third act took such a strange turn. But then again, that's just what I thought of it the first time. Maybe younger audiences will think differently of it. Maybe we'll think differently of it in the future. Maybe I just need to see the movie again because maybe it just caught me off guard. But I don't know, it's just weird, and I couldn't really stop thinking of how stupid it was. It just felt stupid, and I don't say that often for movies. I respect writing decisions. I often will go along with these weird ideas. But here, it didn't really seem like they thematically took that decision for any other reason than to have a certain actor be in the movie. It just felt like that. It didn't feel natural. It felt very contrived. A lot of the characters probably could have used either a little more focus or just made them a little more interesting. Some of the introductions are really done quickly. There's some scenes I wish we would have less of, and other scenes I wish we had more of. It is a pretty good representation of Pokemon though, and I'm sure that's what a lot of people are hoping for. And I think that's what this movie was trying to accomplish. And in turn, they were trying to just throw in a fun story. Does it really add to anything though? Does it really bring anything new to the table? Does it really bring any good themes? Not really. Not every movie is supposed to be like that, and I don't think that's what this movie was trying to do. But, you know, it's gonna really deter the rewatchability factor. For now, I honestly would just give this a 3 out of 5 stars, which might seem pretty low. I was just amazed that they accomplished something like this, but you know, I would be more interested in seeing something that maybe delved more into the main characters and expanded upon them. And this particular story was fine, but you know, it's a big universe now, so I am open to seeing more interpretations, more different stories, and hey, a lot of people are going to enjoy this movie, so more power to you.